What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm gonna make a bold statement. You don't have a purpose. You are your purpose. And in today's video, I'm gonna tell you how. Alright, what's up, YouTube? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. But let's get right into the video. Let's talk about what I mean when I say you don't have a purpose, you are your purpose. The first key to understanding what I mean when I say that is, let's look at some real life examples of two well-known people, Hitler and Martin Luther King. What would you say Martin Luther King and Hitler's purpose was? Oh wait, they didn't have a purpose. No one has a purpose. You are your purpose. If we take Martin Luther King and Hitler and put them next to each other, think about the things they have done. I don't even want to go into detail about what Hitler has done, because we all know how evil that was. But when we compare Hitler and Martin Luther King, what we understand is that free will is more important than purpose. Your purpose comes from your free will, your decisions, what choices you have made with your life. I mean, just think about how we use the word purpose. What do we say? We say, did you do it by an accident or did you do it on purpose? Your purpose is intentional. It's what you choose to do with who you are. You are your purpose. When it comes down to Martin Luther King and Hitler, think about the things they have both achieved. No ordinary person could have pulled off what they both have pulled off, whether it was good or bad. It all comes down with how they have used themselves. Two powerful, charismatic, persuasive, moving leaders who have used their potential in opposite ways. But when you think of these two people, let's view them from a purpose and free will standpoint. In order to do what they did, they needed their skills to pull off what they did. Their decisions is what showed their purpose. They weren't born with a purpose, but they were born who they are. And this is why I'm talking to you as a viewer, and I say your purpose isn't gonna smack you in the head. It's not gonna fall from the sky and it's like, oh my God, I know what I want to do every day. You create your purpose. And in order to find your purpose, you need to understand who you are and understand what skills or what qualities or characteristics of you as a human being separates you from other people. And we all have them. I like to think of life as a big puzzle, and I say that every single person is a different piece of the puzzle. We all bring something different to the table, just like every puzzle has a different piece. See, the thing about a puzzle is you can only get the full picture because every piece is different. No puzzle has the exact same shape of a piece. The key thing here is that a puzzle only fits together because every piece is different. If every piece were the same, you would not have the full puzzle. Just like in the grand scheme of the world, we all are different and we all need to be different in order for us to come together as a whole. Anyway, so you could basically call this like part 2 of this video. I'm gonna go more in depth on what who you are means to your purpose. Now, going back to that Martin Luther King and Hitler example, just think about how they could have used each of their talents or each of their unique abilities as a person to achieve different goals. Martin Luther King could have led a cult full of killers or some weird stuff. Or Hitler could have made the Nazis into like some peace organization. Or even LeBron James. LeBron had the talent and abilities to play football just as much as he could have played basketball. Great example of his free will leading him to where he was supposed to be. And that's another thing to note about purpose. You're on either end of the spectrum when it comes to purpose. You either believe fate and destiny and that everything happens for a reason, or you don't believe in any of that. You believe nothing happens for a reason and things are what they are. I personally believe that everything happens for a reason, and I believe that inevitably, no matter what you choose to do, it will ultimately lead to the outcome you were destined for. Even in the worst examples, I feel as though that even as a society, in the history of what we do or what we have done to each other as humans, there's always something to learn from that. There's always something to grow from that. There's always some sort of deeper understanding and deeper meaning to everything that happens. And I believe that when it comes to your purpose, the moment you start to have some more self-awareness and you start to look deeper into who you are, what you're good at, how do you naturally handle and deal with people, and how you can grow into more of yourself, you will then align yourself with your purpose. And going along with that, when I truly understood myself and truly started going towards my purpose, I knew it was my purpose because I knew I could do it naturally. And you see a part of that in some of these YouTube videos, which is why I do what I do on this channel. I like to make people better. I mean, that's a simple way of putting it, but I like to have a positive impact on anybody that I come across. In YouTube's case, anybody that I talk to. And I'm very charismatic, I'm very articulate, and I'm very conscious. So all of these natural abilities of mine, I combine them together in how I uplift people and how I motivate and inspire people. Because since I'm conscious, I understand a lot about certain issues such as depression, anxiety, any type of mental health issue or any type of social issue or etc., I tend to look deeply into those and I tend to analyze them thoroughly and use that in how I help people. I also observe others a lot. I'm very intuitive. Like I remember being a young age, and I remember I told my 30-something-year-old uncle one time in the car, and then both of my uncles was in the car, and we were talking about something. And that's when I remember they were talking about how it's typical for someone in our family to have like a lot of attitude. Our attitude tends to get us into issues, whether it be fighting or whatever the case may be. And I remember even back then I said I speak less because I realized I have less problems that way. I had to be like 11 years old, 10 years old, something like that. But when it comes to me, I'm very intuitive when it comes to stuff like that. Like I remember being a freshman in high school, or like in the as early as the 7th grade, I told myself I didn't want to deal with the 7 deadly sins. I told myself I wanted to resolve these issues within myself so I don't experience them as others do. And if you don't know what the 7 deadly sins are, one of them is wrath, which has to do with anger. Another one is lust. Another one is greed, etc. And I noticed at a young age that these 7 deadly sins manifest themselves in other people. And I knew that when they manifested themselves in other people, it resulted in others acting outside of their character. For example, if I'm lustful towards my friend's wife or my friend's woman, I would go behind his back to have sex with her and betray my own friend. Or another example, if I deal with a lot of greed, I would be willing to backbite and betray my own family just to have more money towards myself. I mean, it's a whole lot of examples of how the 7 deadly sins manifest themselves in other people. But I noticed that, and I knew that I didn't want to deal with that, and I wanted to be a better person and a bigger person than myself, and to be holistic enough to be strong enough to not deal with those things. This is how I used my natural talents and abilities. I went about finding them because I noticed how I dealt with other people. I noticed how I noticed things. I thought about what I thought about. That's a deep level of thinking. I noticed what I like and what I didn't like. I noticed what other people said about me. I mean, etc. It's a lot that goes into, how to know yourself. And if you want more on that, maybe I can elaborate more on that in another YouTube video. But I also have a lot on my channel that goes into self-development and overall your growth as a person that will help you find your purpose. So that wraps up today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Golden advice out.